charges and stuff like that that eBay has and kind of how it works, just to kind of get you familiar with it before you start listing your products. So let's begin. Okay, so how many listings do you have before you get any charges? So how many listings can you have before you get charges really depends, because it does grow. It does change. We had 20 up until just recently. It did switch to 50. So there is a chance that it could switch back to 20 or it could raise. I'm not sure. But as of right now, which it is July 2018. Okay, so as of July 2018, it is 50 free listings per month. So every 30 to 31 days, you will get 50 free listings. Your free listings can be auction or buy now listings. It doesn't make a difference. The only thing it changes is about how much you'll be paying in fees. This is not including number of items. So what I mean by this is if you put one listing, but then you mark that you have 8 of those items, it's going to count as 8 and not 1. So for every item you have listed is how many times it's going to count against you. So each item does count. That's kind of tying back into what I just talked about. After your 50 free listings, you will be charged an insertion fee. It does change quite often depending on what you're selling and how much you're selling it for. But again, it's not much. It's like under $1, so it's really not much. I think the last time I did it was like 50 or 30 cents. Now I have all mine on automation, so I probably should look into that. But okay, so eBay fees. Once you sell an item on eBay, they will charge you a final value fee. So what this is say, you have an item between 99 cents and $50. So if whatever you sell it for in between that bracket, they're going to charge you 8% of the final sale price. So it's kind of like a tax, but a fee through eBay. If your product does sell for just over $50 to $1,000, you will only pay 8% for the first $50 plus 5% for the remaining final sale price. So do keep that in mind, that if you are selling something over $50, even if it's just 1 penny, that does change how much they will charge you, as well as you do have to pay that 8% per item. So this is kind of one thing that tends to throw people off. Don't be afraid of the fees, because when you're making sales with winning products and making that profit, the fees aren't going to really matter to you. Okay, so moving on. Fund, release, and hold. So this is one thing that people who don't have training or don't, know anything about eBay tend to be blindsided by. So do make sure that whatever product you are listing, that you do have the funds to be able to purchase that product yourself, at least for the first time of sale. So when you're selling on eBay, again, that's why that's why we focus on $15 to $30, because that's very reasonable for anyone to have. Remember, if you're selling it for $40, $45, it's not going to be a big deal, because once you do purchase the product, you will be getting that money right back. So when selling on eBay, funds are held within your account to ensure that the product is shipped and received with no issue. So basically, this is eBay's way of giving the buyers a sense of security. You will still see the funds, but it will be on hold until the product is received and you've met the days that you need to, like the time frame. If you provide eBay with PayPal with proof of shipment, they will release the payment. It normally shows up between 3-4 days. Sometimes mine has been pushed to 5 days, but 3 to 5 days after delivery. If you mark the item as shipped inside of eBay, expect to see the payment within 7, sometimes up to 9 days, depending on the situation, but 7 to 9 days after delivery. Otherwise, you may have to wait up to 21 days to give the buyer a chance to be able to make a claim or just really complain about the item, whether or not they want to return it, stuff like that. It's just kind of a way to secure the buyer, especially if you're having a new account. It's going to, your very first sale, no matter what, is going to be held for 21 days. And then after that, it will be released. But remember, you can make multiple sales. So moving on. Recovering fees on unfinalized sales. So this is one thing that not many people realize, but is very important for you guys to know, and I feel like it's very important to teach you guys, is when you are selling an item on eBay, you are charged the final value fee. But sometimes the customer has second thoughts, they choose not to pay you. And for those items, in that case, you can actually be reimbursed by eBay themselves. All you do is contact them personally, or you can do it manually / automatically, because once you do it, set it up the first time, it will be like that permanently by turning on unpaid item assist. So this is found in your settings. I will show you in a video later on how to do this when you're setting up your eBay and getting ready to make your listings. But the unpaid item assist really can help to make sure that if you are charged any fees, that you will receive that back if the item is not paid for. Alright, so high ratings equal lower fees. A lot of people might think this sounds like a little bit crazy, but it's almost like the algorithm of eBay. This is how they work and what they do to kind of reward their higher rating customers who are on their selling. So eBay gives preference to sellers who are highly rated by listing these sellers higher in the search results. So if you have a high rating, you're going to be seen first. Displaying the top rated plus seal on search results as well as in listing description. So when you go to click on an item or you're searching through the search results, you're going to see some that have the seal on them as well as on the description, and that is something that's kind of saying this is a really good item or this has been really liked by people, which will cause people to want to purchase your item even more. Final value fees are discounted by 10%, not counting shipping costs, which is actually really good. I know that you're like, oh, only 10%, but 10% can add up when you have so many items going out. These will boost your sales and raise your profit margins, guys, so definitely want to aim for high ratings and good service. Alright, so that is the completion of getting to know eBay. Go ahead and move on to the next video.